back to the PPC Community Broadcast. My name is Marlo. With me, the only one, the incredible tech caster at my side, my man, my boy, Kresnik TV. Yeah. It's fun. It's
I'm
fun.
you.
It's basically fun. So what? You are?
I was.
No. It's okay. Do that again.
No, it's fine. No, just keep going.
Let's
Just
roll
keep
it back. Let's
going.
roll it back. So what Kresnik said, very animated, is Brazil is fun, and it's going to be fun for the rest of the week. So we're excited to cast it because it's fun.
I said that you never know what you're gonna get going into Brazil. It was what
True.
I said, and I said you see a game like Parallax versus Tempest Team, Parallax versus Fatal Ambition. Even yesterday, we saw Parallax Fatal, and Fatal took the first game. How often do you get to say that the bottom team?
No, indeed.
One of the bottom teams in the region coming in so dominant on the map that they won against that. Yeah, Parallax picked it up later, but I feel like you can see anything happen. I never go into a BR game writing either team off right away.
Indeed. Like you, last time, of course, was yesterday, and it was my first time, so you sold me Parallax so well. Like, it's an amazing team. They play so well. They're crazy. Oh, man, they should be in jail right now because they're so crazy with their picks, etc. But then those games were super well balanced out into the pick and ban phase, and, of course, in-game in general. Well, but let's talk about bans a little bit, because right now we have the map bans coming up, and it's going to be for InControl. They basically cut off Ice Mines and Frog Island, and for Ignite, it's going to be Bright Marsh and Shadow Desert. So pretty good so far. I don't like Shadow Desert.
I know you just it's too wide for you. You to figure out what's going on. It's so much.
Like,
it's chaos.
It's huge.
We're going to another big-ish map, but it's a map that you should have an idea of what's happening because it's a little more condensed in some of the areas. Splitstone Quarry. It's a map you've seen already a couple times. You know the map, the bleachers, the high ground, all the important stuff you need to take into account when you start playing on this map.
Yeah, we know already that verticality is key. Hit scans are key. Snipers are king. If you manage to, sneak one through it. But of course, you can play this map in very different ways. And most of the times, you're going to have a Meve, or you're going to have like a Victor or an Androxus just like wrecking the entire the entire map, the entire game. We even saw, like yesterday, a full-on composition with DPS and the Barrack with Tinkering. So anything is possible right now on Splitstone Quarry. The next two bans are going to be Vivian, of course, Buck, and we were talking about, mobility and verticality, so Buck is one of them. Strix, as I said before, snipers are king, so Strix is gone. That means that Kinessa is left with Victor still open, so they could be, or two interesting picks. And of course, Corvus is gone because Corvus controls so much of the flank flow that you basically need him if you want to run, a full flank composition. But let's go with the first pick. Is going to be, let me guess, Inara or something like that.
Close, Victor. It's completely different. It's still a backline hit scan though. It's still someone that can do a lot of damage with Vivian banned. You kind of bring yourself into you ban Vivian Strix, right, and then you get Victor. Those are the three, I think, primary hit scan backlines already taken out of the picture. So I think a lot of that brought in there. But Fernando,
Fernando,
would be the pickup on the other side. Interesting because Inara is still available.
That's true. But I think right now, if you really want to build Aegis, as a main card with your shield, you have such little cooldown. You can basically go into the fidget spinner, or you can go to lava. Hide yourself into the house, into the building for a couple of seconds, and then just pop your shield back up and fight again. And also, Fernando does quite a nice damage, throughout, spreading it a little bit over many targets. So he can also control the house or the respawn flow for the enemy team if they manage to get a couple of kills. So I'm all for it. Cass is going to be in the next one with Genos, so this is going to be a ton of damage, like a huge chunk of damage just coming from the house and up to the high ground onto the battlefield. That's going to be pretty huge. Ying as a heal bot, Kinessa coming up with Androxus. So it's going to be the same thing we saw today on Stone Keep. So it's basically Kinessa hitting those shots, and then Draxus trying to do a little bit of a cleanup crew. Zane is going to come up for InControl. So I don't know what to expect from these two teams. Ease me in. And of course, Barrick, as I said before. Tinkering Barrick.
It might not be. We only see.
True.
I still think that if you're going to play Tinkering Barrick, it has to be with Genos. You really need that damage boost to kind of make up for the loss of range that you're going to get. But Barrick with Genos, it's an old school combination. Barrick has lost a significant amount of sustain, almost halved completely. He used to get 400 health per second from double time. He used to get 1500 shield at a burst from bowling ball. But all of that's been halved. Healing station's gone from 250 healing to 125 at max. So his sustain went way down. He didn't really become, he kind of fell off from being this highly prioritized solo tank with Genos, but he can still do that job. His shield is the most important thing, but into Kinessa, into Andro, that is a lot of hit scan. And Andro hates, Barrick hates hit scan. I mean, Barrick has a massive skull, and he will take a lot more damage from hit scan than the usual. But if you have a good use of the shield, if the enemy team shoots your turrets, if you have that turret cooldown card, for whatever reason, if they prioritize shooting that, you can get your cooldowns back fast enough, and you will be able to live on the point to trade into whatever point tank you're facing.
This is a crazy match. Nobody's going to be on point apart from Fernando, because right now everybody's just going to roll for kills, and it's going to be who kills the most and who gets the points soon after, because it's all based on damage, and with basically no tanks available, you only have Fernando with a shield, and Fernando is going to be a little bit capable with that ultimate. But I think we're ready to jump into the game.
We are, and I actually wanted to mention something really quickly as I pull us into this game. A small change up on the roster for, it looks like, InControl, and this actually makes sense as to why they were prioritizing the Victor earlier. It looks like instead of, I believe, Mika, I want to say Mika's the one who's missing here. Instead of Mika, they've actually picked up NZ, it looks like, with not PS1, now playing on Ignite, so that's a new change. He was playing on Fatal Ambition before. Cool NZ was also from Fatal Ambition way earlier. In the first phase, went to the amateurs, but now is back up here. And him playing on this Victor, it shows why they prioritize that Vic, right? Not something we normally see from them as often, but now that they have this controller hit scan, they want to be able to put him on something that he's comfortable with, something that he can kind of pop off on and be a little bit harder for them to deal with, even with a Kinessa on the other side.
Indeed, let's find out and let's jump into the game. I'm super curious and excited to see many kills, because it's going to be wild and it's going to be huge right now. And we're going to have our focus onto the bag right now, trying to get a little bit onto the point, but he's going to get shot from so many directions. The shield gets popped up. Fernando is already there. Fernando trying to get a little bit of punishment, but still no kills to be found. Zen right now with the dodge. That was pretty huge right now. And Charlene trying to control the left side of the map as much as possible against the Cassie. No kills to be found already. And Ying is going to be a heal bot, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Yang is doing a decent amount there. Some utility from the illusions, but none really to be found into the team they're playing against. But Amadeus, he'll win the duel. He'll push up and put pressure finally onto PS1, and he doesn't even turn in time and gets down.
There was a 1-2 quick scope right there from Cassie, and it was pretty huge, because right now they unlocked the situation, and they're going to take the point easily. It's going to be 66% right now, and we needed to come back with Charlene and Fernando as soon as possible, because Charlene is not doing much right now. And all the others, especially Andraxis, I'm curious to see why they didn't take a kill or clean up, effectively against the enemy backline. Fernando is going to jump back. Genos is going to pick Andraxis up, and Andraxis is not able to take a kill. It's going to be a 1-0 for InControl right now, and it's time to push.
Yeah, actually, they definitely know it's time to push with how aggressive King Kaiser's been, but just PS1 and the Ying alive. Ying will fall, of course. Nothing really much else to do there with PS1. Actually, gripped out of the transporter. You never see that, but it helps them set up for a kill with this push still going on. InControl, this triple DPS, this is a great map for it. It is kind of being played a lot more in Brazil, with double tank kind of coming into favor. In other regions now, Brazil finally caught on and said, oh, triple DPS, I was watching the other PPCs. I heard that was pretty good. But they're definitely playing it on the right map, and they seem to have the strategy set up. Get that surround. You get aggressive, but it's going to be hard to surround when they're holding by their base.
The name is true. They are in control right now, and the payload basically already reached the last stretch. It's going to be a huge shoulder to lean on, because it's Only Fernando trying to, you know, contest a little bit onto the high ground. And onto the other side, this Xin is doing like tons of damage and is trading consistently against it. And Droxus, the only one is not actually coming through right now is Kinessa. Kinessa needs to find a kill right now. And Victor is going to go with a double shot with his ultimate. That's going to be huge for them. That's a couple of kills right now that you don't expect. And they're going to be easy to take. Charlene is going to go against the Barrack, and Barracks just jumps back and forth. Fernando is going to get a little bit squashed against these two. The shield is up, but the life, his life is draining fast. They are actually in control. They managed to survive, but 60 seconds is still a lot of time to come back.
Yeah, especially when the card was close, it's all about one fight. Amadeus almost instantly catches Deja Vu, but a lot of levels in Abyss Walker, give him that healing that he needs. They have to rely so hard on their sniper here, but look at that, the flank from Cool takes their healer down.
Indeed, there you go. Now you have another couple kills ready to go. InControl Nation, they're pretty good right now. They're pretty solid. They still have tons of ultimate to use. Of course, with Barrack, they can kind of push harder than usual. And Fernando is going to be alone. He's going to go down without a tank. They're not able to actually contest. The only one I think is Androxus with that, you know, with the shield. I mean, he can shield himself and, you know, take it back, but it was not enough. And it's going to be 2-0 pretty easily.
Yeah, a pretty quick start by them, honestly. Surprising to see King Kaiser. I mean, not surprising to see King Kaiser play well, but interesting to see him so close in damage to a Victor. But damage is just pretty close across the board. No one's really kind of exploding in front of everybody else so far. Let's take a look at let's see what build we want to look at. Look at the Nando build. Focusing on shield, focusing on rejuvenate, I think, to surprise nobody here on this, with health kind of spread evenly, no fillers. What's up?
No. I had a thought in my mind. We saw many times, if you have a full flank or full DPS team, usually with a Meave, you're able to jump back and forth if they're pushing you hard and your tank is dead. Right now, the only option they have, really, it's basically Androxus with the reversal. They have nothing left if he's not on point.
Yeah, they can't do too much with it right now, but they do find an early pick, though, on the side of them, with not PS1 kind of catching that early. Penny, though, can't really stay on point with that Victor up top, burning the shield, and look at that, 1 HP, literally 1, he gets the immortal up, but he shouldn't live too much longer. Indeed,
he has a shield, though, and Ying is actually healing him pretty consistently, so he's well alive and well. The ultimate got popped by Barrack, and he actually is on the verge of death right now. They need to pick him up and pick him up fast. Victor onto the other side, getting shot by Kinessa. And we still need a couple of kills more to see if, of course, Ignite Gaming is gonna unlock the situation. But right now, Barrack, huge with the shield, he's trying to control as much as possible. There's not a kill from Victor right now, but he's gonna try to push as much as possible against the Fernando.
Yeah, just burning on the shield is kind of his job, and Kaiser wants to push on it, but actually almost baited in with not PS1 waiting, but he doesn't hit the headshot when they refight. Just Barrack alone on the point. Headshot again gets missed. Nice Monkey walks away barely with his life.
Nice, there's no follow-up, that's too bad, but we still have, for example, onto the other side, King Kaiser with, of course, the Guillotine already available. They should be able to actually get a kill right now. Oh, and of course, not PS1 gets shot down pretty easily, I must say. Barrack again onto the point, 87%, there's no contesting. Fernando is there, but it's not alone, because the entire enemy team is going to wail on him, so watch out.
Look at that. Deja Vu getting caught out there by the end. This Barrack lives on point. I feel like almost too long. I feel like every time they go to fight him, they just miss. Finally, the headshot connects, and Barrack immediately has to leave. But no follow-up. In control, they get their point, and they can keep moving forward. And someone has to be with PS1 up here shooting into the backline.
Androxus is a little bit inconsistent right now. He needs to be where Kinessa is shooting, because they had so many occasions against the Victor, for example. She's taking headshots, okay? She's doing damage. They just need a clean-up crew to, you know, finish the job, actually.
Yeah, some way for them to get in, but it's hard for Andrew to pass by the entire team that's waiting to get onto that Kinessa. But immediate death. King Kaiser gets shot, doesn't realize it, and this will give Ignite a chance to find their way into the battle.
And there you go. Now Androxus doing his job. He's going to try to snipe a little bit about the enemy DPS against the Cassie. It's going to be a 1v1. Shots are flying, but still no kills from both of them. We're going to see Barrack in a little bit of a tough spot right now, being chasing down from the entire team. And now Charlene alone against the Xin. The damage is gone. And we're going to see, again, trading left and right. Androxus did a kill onto the Cassie, but quickly Charlene is picking up the pace.
Look at that immediate burst from Victor. Cool. Burning him up. And Deja Vu doesn't react in time to Cool playing here. The team's not there for them to necessarily push yet, but now with the DPS is coming back, they might be able to pinch Penny into that house.
Steady aim, steady hands, a steady burst right here, and you can see tons of damage. Right now, Zen is going to trade easily. Not even trade, because he's still alive, actually. They didn't shut him down, and that's pretty much a given. And it's a death sentence, because right now Barrick is jumping back and forth. He still has an ultimate. They can try to push as much as possible, or play it safe onto the next round. But I think they can press down the accelerator and just push it through it.
Yeah, this is, I think, I love seeing the Cassie Scout to counteract the Shaolin's Heat Haze. I think it's a great way to play right now, but Deja Vu a little bit caught off guard there, and this should be the chance for InControl to strike.
And there you go, Fernando's going to be the next one. He's completely alone. He pops his ultimate against the Barrick, but it's not going to be enough because the enemy team is there, awake and ready, and he's going to go down against this Shaolin pretty easily. Let's see what we got. It's going to all come up with 900 HP, but he was away to the payload, and they got a victory out of nowhere.
Oh my god, I have never seen a better advertisement for dire need in the build. There's a card that makes you move faster when you have your shield up. He didn't have it. That is the best advertisement I can see. Put that on a billboard. Put dire need in your Fernando build, and you can win that game maybe. I mean, 3-0, a bunch of people still alive, but maybe they could have contested just the tiniest bit more with it. Either way, InControl looked like they were dominant that entire time, and I have a feeling the stats will tell the same story.
Indeed, there you go. As you can see right now, Victor was doing a ton of damage. And onto the other side, the only real counter was Canessa, I must say. And Shaolin, of course, picking up those pieces. But I feel Androx, as I said before, was not pulling his weight. And it shows onto the damage chart.
Yeah, for sure. Only 37k. He had to go in to try to clean up on the kills and really couldn't do it too much with the draft that they had. Cassie and Victor both in the way when they were when he was trying to engage. So Deja Vu, really hard game for him. He usually has a pretty solid performance on that Andro, but no pockets for him and Geno's pockets for every other DPS he wanted to fight. Pretty good combination of slash lines from the other side to 23, it looks like, and 9 for the 3 of those DPS. Ice Monkey also not really dying on that point. Every time he got shot once, he just ran away, and no one on the team really committed, right? Deja Vu was so busy fighting on the other side of the map, he never had a chance to go clean up on that Barrack.
That's true, and also it's super risky because once you are with Barrick onto the fidget spinner side, there's so many, it's a close corner. It's so easy to get you down, and with Androxus, you want to be in the open, you want to jump back and forth, you want to zip through the air and be as fast as possible, and that's why I was expecting him to be a little bit more aggressive towards the Victor, but that didn't happen, so it's okay. Like, they tried. The unfortunate thing is that Fernando didn't believe in Ying so much because he was down at 300 HP, right? And then he moved away, popped his shield back on, and he was back at full health, almost at least half health, with 2k, but he was too far away from the payload. They just needed to put a little bit of trust into their healer, and maybe they could have been contesting it a little bit more. But the game was pretty much set up.
Yeah, definitely hard for him at the end. I think it's hard to kind of nitpick that hard on just specifically that final fight for them, the way that it ended up. But Ignite Gaming, at the very least, that was InControl's map pick. You can kind of write it off on that one, and Ignite now will get to choose where they want to go, and that will be, let me just click this button again to make sure everything is looking kosher on the next screen. It looks like it will be Stone Keep. Stone Keep will be the map that they want to go. So from one stone map to the other, and Ignite Gaming may be looking for a more aggressive composition.
Indeed. And then again, we're commenting, so could have, should have.
Could have, should have,
of course, it's, yeah, exactly. Yada, yada. We're trying to give, a little bit of perspective into the game, but it's super hard to play, against InControl because their execution is super clean right now. And we can see right now onto the bans, Vivian is getting cut off, Zin, also Atlas, and I wonder what's the next one. It's going to be Ash. So Inara is going to be the best tank around for this time on, so she could be her first pick for sure. But then again, Stone Keep, you can basically play anything. So what's coming up for Ignite?
We'll have to see. I mean, you said Inara could be first pick. I wouldn't. There's still other healers up though. I mean, the Corvus and I believe the Genos also making.
And the Genos, yeah.
So it could be one of those if that's where they want to lean. Definitely both ways. But Buck will be the first pick. Someone who in Brazil, he has a massive win rate. I mean, he just wins in Brazil. Really hard to dive, and the way that they play is They play him to slow down the flanks and then let the rest of the team kind of engage on the other side of it. But I mean, this potentially gives up the double pocket. They could give up the Corvus Genos here in InControl. I mean, they get one. I wouldn't be shocked to see them pick up the other right away. But they don't. They'll go Cassie instead.
I would have, though, because Genos basically controls Puck each and every time he jumps, so bounce house is not an option. But they went with Corvus and Cassie. Probably they want to control a little bit more the flow of the fight. Now is going to be the second pick for Ignite, and they're still rolling with the Ying. They're confident. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot.
I agree. I like the Inara, I like the Ying. This is a very sustainy composition that I'm seeing so far coming out of them. Going to be very, very hard to kill that Inara with all that pocket that they have potentially to back them up with InControl. Now can't get the Inara with the Corvus, and second best looks like for them is Fernando. I mean, the shield can help a lot. The ultimate to keep the team alive. I don't really like how Ignite used the Nando Ults last game. I feel like you don't want to use it just for yourself in front of everybody. That's like so minimal value compared to let your team get aggressive, then spend the Immortal to keep them going in the fight. It's so much more because they're expecting you to ult. They're not expecting your team to get ulted as often. Ignite they need a good backline.
The game before was a little bit strange because they were all split up. Nobody was really onto the Fernando, but this is a different map. Like Stonekeep, you most of the times are in church or onto your right or left, depending on the side and situation. And most of the time you want to stay on point. So Fernando is a great excuse right here, but Imani comes in. Oh, this is going to be a doozy. This is going to be amazing to witness. With Rom, of course, there's no counter, there's no cripple, there's no rover, there's nothing. So I think Rom is going to have a pretty fun time.
Yeah, I think the Rom is going to have a fun time, but they're going to play Talus to try to deal with them. It's not necessarily a foregone conclusion, I guess, that the Rom will go by past this Talus. Talus will duel him. Talus can win that duel, assuming he has all his cooldowns up. But Rom can just can run past. Cassie can run big game into it, so they have the damage counters, but they can't really stop that dash unless they run Stun Corvus, I guess. Don't run Stun Corvus. That's kind of the only chance that they have. They would have to give up so much utility just to deny Rom dash. I think they just have to play around it and then hope they can win the rest of the map before he gets in.
What about Pyro Imani, though? What do you think about her?
I'm excited to see. I mean, Ignite is the team that played it last week, so not shocked to see them pulling it out again. It's basically just Shaolin with some different utility, with less cripple, more damage utility. It also depends on how much Kubies will be swapping stances, right? Because we would love to see the potential Frost Bombs coming out to catch people up for set plays, on some other people getting aggressive. We would like to see that. But Imani can run away from fights. She's just a backline with fantastic verticality. Shaolin who can go up with an okay ultimate. Yeah, with an okay ultimate. It's a little bit harder to find value out of the dragon in a competitive game as it is to find value out of a dragon in your pubs when everyone is just like, wait, did you guys just hear that? Did Imani just ult? Everyone dies. It's a lot harder to get something done with the dragon when it just gets burned down immediately.
I'm super excited to see the dragon in church just popped and everybody needs to run away. He just does so much damage right now. But yeah, I think we're ready for the game, ready to jump in, and let's see a couple of cards. Let's see what's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll look at the talents here. You were right, it is Pyromania. It's exactly what Kubies ran last week on this Imani. Fire Stance. If you can't get Shaolin, or if you don't want Shaolin, just get Shaolin Light in the Imani with that damage. Also, no jumping and accuracy, kind of nice. Definitely to have on that. I'll take a look at his build really quickly, even in this screen here. Looks like just some focusing on glide, focuses on mobility with that, and some shield, so he's going to be a little bit hard for them to dive onto. Andro and Talus might have to collapse on him at the same time to catch him down.
Indeed. Let's find out, because right now the focus is all on Imani, on Qubits, and we're going to see if the plays are coming in. Rom, of course, is going to be able to actually just run through the enemy team with little to no effort, and the damage are coming through. Let's see who takes the first blood, and that will determine what's going to happen during the whole game.
That early damage onto the Talus made it impossible for him to do that, and this Inferno Cannon will deny that push, so keep control right now. 2 Ignite Gaming, and this Talus, no ruin. He could win this fight, but Kubies doesn't even want to take it.
Indeed, he is so scared right now. They need to actually find the target, and Talus is going to go with the first blood against Qubits itself, and that leaves the point completely unchecked, because right now Inara is having a tough time to actually keep up with the others. Buck is going to go for another kill against the Corvus. They don't have healing there, but they control the entirety of the map. And right now, in Control Nation, it's not so in control because they lost the point, but Fernando is keeping that real with that shield. It's very hard to kill him right now. And then they try to control almost the one-shot the entirety of Androxus.
Almost getting the kill with the Pyromania, the AoE, is kind of huge and people don't really expect it as much. But you can look at this right now. Bard disengage from them here. He runs back to his team. Everyone is so deathballed on the side of InControl, but they have to break through and contest this point sooner rather than later.
And that's another one, and Androxus is still alive after 2 shots. It's super risky right now. Paladins is trying to do a little bit of damage onto the higher side. Androxus misses every shot. There's no kill to come from this ultimate. And Cubits is going to go with another one and use the Chalice. Rollman is completely alone and defenseless. It's going to jump back into it. Right now, it takes another kill against the Fernando. It's going to be a 99% for them. They need to push a little bit further, and they just got the point, I think.
Yeah, they should be able to get it with everyone else kind of sent reeling back to spawn on the side of InControl. So different look right now, Ignite. I think their first point so far this set, I want to say, against them right now, and still getting aggressive with Ice Monkey, maybe overstepping, but no wall, but now he has to face down a dragon coming in from Kubi's.
And there you go, the super max damage coming through, unlocking more and more potential inside this map. They're not shutting him down. I don't know why there's no coordination. Yeah, he's way too alive for being, you know, an Inara ultimate. Mani ultimate right now. So, like, they've been alive for a little bit too long, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, everyone else was flanking, right? They were on the side not doing it. Someone has to go for Zeeds right now. Andrew goes in the back and goes in, but the other engagement coming in with that seismic crash doesn't find anything, and it's a 1-for-1.
Indeed, right now, Inara just going to the point that Androxus is going to lose this 1v1 against the Buck. They just need to unlock a little bit more because right now Cassie is still into the game and she can do tons of damage and tons of kills easily. Corvus popped the ultimate right now. He wants to control the situation. Buck is going to be the next one against the Chalice. It goes down versus Cassie. But they just caught up with Inara. That's going to be super risky. Watch out! We can see right now that the damage is coming through. And they are having so much trouble to control Ignite Gaming. Ignite Gaming, they're a little bit onto the defensive side, having a little bit of problem right now. And they're going to need to reset and respawn.
Yeah, that was a fantastic use of that Immortal. I said, hey, maybe Immortal, maybe Nando not looking as good because they're not immortaling for their team. Guess what? They get saved by the Cataclysm. That helps significantly. But InControl, interesting true power just to dismount the Nara. Pink guys are shoot. I guess he never put down his rune in the first place. No, he did, so he's back out to spawn. That doesn't really change much of anything, except Ornsky now maybe a little bit out of rhythm.
Indeed, right now we can see Rom actually try to do a little bit more pressure. The Dragon is going to come off. Let's see, changes a little bit right now. Fernando does not have shield, does not have life. But here comes the kill. They're going to push it with Rom inside the spawn. They're all packed up. It's very hard to actually escape. The Dragon is still up and kicking, alive and running. The damage is there, and actually Rom can try to run a little bit onto the backside, knock everybody up, and gain a lot of tempo, and that's why they basically are onto the second point pretty easily. Fernando is the only one. They're jumping back and forth. They're like throwing themselves onto the payload, but they're gonna die consistently against the enemy team, and the push is gonna be successful.
Kubi's getting hard pocketed there near the very end, and that saves them. Great healing by that Ying to keep him up and help him maintain this top damage statistic, 7-1 also. So this Amani really paying off. We've seen him play it before, and it looked just as good, so happy to see it continuing to come out here. Love to use the Dragon there as well. I think the way that they spent it, force them all back into spawn, let your tanks play on the objective, and go from there. Definitely great value from them. And it's ultimate that's really hard to get value from, so I'm glad to see them set up. InControl even had a counter. They sent in Mika over the wall to use the Accursed Arm to catch him while he was casting it, with a scout to spot where he was, but they just built for him. They just put people in the way. They stopped the damage from coming in with good play, and they got maximum value from that Draconic Call.
Indeed, and again, I see that Dragon is not getting shut down, and he's doing tons of damages. So it's very important for them to actually focus him down. We talked about ranked game, right? You know, right here you have communication, you have people that can actually go and fight against the money. So they need to be a little bit more focused onto the situation. Right now we see the Rom, we see the Buck Nothing is really happening. He's still fighting over and over and over. Talus is going to go for the kill. Amani's getting shut down right now. And they can unlock the next one against probably the enemy team. Yin goes down, so there's no healing left. This could be it. Like, this could be really it for InControl Nation. They can't get the point right now.
Oh, it could be so hard. Amadeus catching Ornstein denies them from any chance to touch, it looks like, so they can get on the board for the first time on Stone Keep. Especially with this scout, absolutely no information. Deja Vu can't quite make it. I love the use of the true power, isolating Kubi's. I thought he might have been able to get away even earlier, but just the fact that they were able to win that engagement helps significantly. But Control potentially coming back to Ignite, with people running through. It's all about maybe what Mika can do with this accursed arm.
Draxus pops his ultimate. Inara is not going to get shot down easily. Of course, she's Inara. She's immortal, basically. Onto the other side, the dragon gets popped off immediately. They want to do as much damage as possible and just freeze the lane as soon as they can, because they're all down and they're easy to get picked off. You see, they're all packed up. The shield is down. That's a double kill. And that's going to be a triple pretty soon enough. And there you go. Completely wiped out by a dragon.
They all got stunned by the Cataclysm by the ROM, and that set up completely for him. Everybody stunned on top of each other. So unfortunate for Ignite, for an InControl gaming, not really ready for it. Look at that, Mika tries to walk out, gets insted, I'm assuming by the full mana double shot coming out from Kubi's, so more damage than he was really expecting. Great map control right now from Ignite. You wouldn't tell that they're the team that's defending.
They're basically into their spawn. They're playing by their own rules. InControl Nation doesn't seem in control right now. I know it's a recurring gag, but they literally lost the ball and they don't know how to come back.
They're trying to figure it out. I mean, they're gaining ground now, using that Nando shield, I think, to really bully them back. But they're spending more ultimates. I don't know if I like them spending these resources, especially when they know there's a buck around the corner with that wall, those wall hacks effectively, and they still run into it.
It's too hard right now, and he's going to go against the Androxus, and he's get taken off by Inara. Well, they're getting pushed back hard. I don't even know. Is this the same team that basically took the point a minute ago? It doesn't seem like the same. And basically, the whole situation just got unlocked by a single Dragon ultimate. So much value. Yeah. So much value by one ultimate right now.
Agreed that they're able to kind of get so far forward here. This is what I was talking about with that Talus versus Raw matchup. They kind of even each other out. Raw might be able to get away, and he even sets up for another kill that'll help Ignite stay even more forward.
Indeed. Right now we see Bach is trying to do a little bit of damage, but the game is basically over from this round. Yeah, they cannot do anything. They're getting bounced off left and right from Rom and Buck in combination. That's a pretty good combo. The backline is completely destroyed, and that's going to be a 3-1 for them. Amazing push. Then they lost it and never took it back.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a foregone conclusion. You're right about this. They get one kill. It is still a 1-for-1, but the card has to go so long. We'll see how much credits, I guess, they're willing to give up to Ignite Gaming, because Ignite, they have all their ultimates charged. Maybe they just want to get Cassie ult, but not as impactful. Still, a lot of extra credits going their way from damage.
And you don't want to do that, because right now you don't want to give Amani all those kills right now. Cassie, of course, getting shots, getting credits, getting kills. It's going to be useful, it's going to be interesting, but you have a long way to go. And this is not even the hardest stretch to do.
Yeah, it's tough for them to get through this now just because of them losing everybody, but Ice Monkey buys a lot of time thanks to that Aegis. Even with them trading on point, they forced the ROM to run in, and Ice Monkey's still left alone with them turning around to deal with them.
Talus trying to do a 1v1 against the Bug. Bug is going to get shut down. Talus actually taking the game very seriously. Is actually trying to unlock as much situations as possible. We do hope. We do hope that, but right now Inara getting jumped back. There's not much space going on right now. But we still are not at the critical point where you have to use ultimate to defend. They picked up the brawl pretty easily and pretty fast. They're trying to bully with this Fernando. If Fernando goes down, I think they don't have any chance to actually hold onto the point, but they need to do that fast, and they do it now.
Yeah, if Nando dies, it's over, because it's fast overtime at this point. It's been way too long. Watch, look at that, goes down immediately. He doesn't even get a chance to reset his shield. It's so close to going down. When you're in overtime for that long, you really have to stay aware of what's going on for them. Damage charts, though, look at this. Kubi is still above the Cassie on the other side, kind of far and away ahead of the rest of his team, but he's more or less the only person on this team that's really set to do damage. Deja Vu is trying to stay alive, maybe cleaning up on the damage that Kubi's is doing. Everyone else kind of trying to play just their own game on the side of it. Take a look at maybe the Talus loadout. We'll see. Things have changed since the recent patch, but King Kaiser hasn't changed too much. Guts still the priority in his build, maybe a little bit less towards that Primeval Might, which kind of hurts it that those trades into ROM. When you get that max lifesteal, you can really survive into him a little bit more effectively, but not quite as much right now. Ignite, though, they had the 5 ultimates. They didn't spend any on defense, which, of course, they shouldn't have with how much time they had. So they're going in a lot of resources here. We'll see what team uses them better.
It's indeed very hard for them to contest right now. They don't have a lot of ultimates, but still, Chalice is doing a hell of a job to actually take a little bit of damage for his team and take a couple of kills left. Inara and the others, yeah, they're just pushing through onto the backline. Inara is actually joining the fight against Buck and the others. So Buck is there, the Dragon is there, Church and the other side are completely controlled by them. Even InControl Nation has 35%. They're just dying over and over and over and getting pushed back. The percentage is not really an indicator of how the match is going, because they're basically getting pushed back right now easily.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree that both teams spent effectively everything, only a Crystal Arm left, and this has got to be the setup for Miko, right above Ice Monkey.
Ooh, and there you go.
For anybody else.
Nothing of it.
That's what they need.
Uneventful. Yeah, indeed, but nothing came from it, and Rama is actually still there, jumping back and forth. Ignite Gaming trying to do the best they can to actually hold onto the point. Inara is going to be huge. Fernando is gone, so they don't have a body to spend onto that point. And it's going to be over pretty soon. They got nothing, and Inara is just invincible. She cannot die.
She tanks everything.
And it's done.
Yeah, tanks everything, and
it's
they
done.
run away with it. Thanks to them killing Ice Monkey when they did, I think the fact that they were able to find that point tank so early, then they had to throw all the squishies onto point, and that's what makes it so difficult when you're trying to play with solo tank if you do give that up. Again, and I'll say it for the millionth time, I never see triple DPS win on Stone Keep. They had the Nando just tried to live as much as he could, but just was not able to make it work. They needed more people to be able to fight it, and that ROM, I think, really just cleaving them all game made it too hard for them to stay alive.
I think focus was a big point of this game, because they tried to get Amani many times, but she just, so much verticality, she's just backed off pretty easily from time to time. And Chalice was pretty aggressive, doing a lot of plays, trying to do it as best as he can, but just wasn't enough. Even with the support of Corvus on his side, the kills just never came in. And also, as you can see, Andraxis going pretty onto the low side with those kills. I was expecting a little bit more pressure, especially with the ultimate and the blast radius and range, but that never really came through.
Yeah, I think not really having as much from the Andro. This is 2 games in a row where we've seen Andro kind of get shut down when normally we would expect to see maybe some more coming out of the character in general, not as one that can be really impactful, but just really struggling in some of these games. Close set so far, though. I mean, InControl, Ignite, both picking one and both looking dominant on that. And we're going to have to take a quick little break, fix some stuff up. When we come back, we'll have more Brazilian Paladins action. We'll be right back.
we're back to the PPC. We took a little bit of a breather. Kresnik, are you excited for the next game? I'm sure am.
I'm excited and unmuted. Yeah. I just really let you know,
nice.
things are really changing over here in Kresnik TV production land.
Improving. We're just improving. As you can see, Kresnik does not have a background this time. So even the Makoa plushie is completely gone.
I can get That's fine. Like. It is right next to me. Right over here. I just don't really know what I do with it other than just having it in the void behind me that is left from there being nothing left in this room.
If there's a team you really like and they lose, you can just punch it,
Oh yeah, true.
Just give it a little,
like a little stress doll. I can just decimate if things go the wrong way. If a team messes up a push and it's like we have to cast another half, you just absolutely crush that
just wail on him.
People will be so sad because you can't get that anymore. That's not something you can easily get anymore.
I know what to steal. I know what to steal when I see you again, if I ever see you again.
I don't think this is the time to come visit me right now, Merlo. Especially. You sure you want to leave Italy and come to the U.S. right now? I mean, I don't know if that sounds like the right call.
It's we don't have Chick-fil-A, so definitely.
Oh, true. I'm a Bojangles man myself, but I understand the appeal for sure there. Map number 3, InControl Nation.
Let's go.
After taking that out, we're 1-1 now between them and InControl. They're bringing us to a map that I don't think you've even had a chance to cast yet. Surprisingly enough, it's a map that even came in once you weren't watching the game as much anymore. It's bizarre. So
yeah,
it's basically, I call it fish market with cover. That's the way that I tend to look at it. I think it makes sense for how it's laid out. Some players, it's kind of a polarizing map. Some players really like it. Some players really don't. I think that's the nicest way to put it. But we'll see if either of these teams feel comfortable on this map as we head into picks and bans.
You are completely correct when you say it's like fish market, because the idea of fish market is like, okay, I have a tank, I can cover behind boxes. Here you just have walls, like you have a walls and a structure right there in the middle. So you can just basically do the entire team fight by rotating around that and trying to dodge enemy fire over and over and over. So it's very hard once you have so many bodies into the point itself to actually cast them out, especially if you have like Inara with a wall, she just goes into an angle and walls herself off, or if you have a Fernando. But I'm wondering what's going to get picked by InControl Nation and the others, because the first 2 bans is going to be Atlas and Rom from them, and Rom is fine because he can just circle around the objective, and Xenatel is going to be next for the other 2.
Yeah, them taking this too. Also, the Buck. Interesting that they double ban flankers and then focus on getting a flanker of their own, kind of limiting what's going to be able to be picked up in that role. But this is a map where you don't necessarily need a flanker. At the end of the day, you can just run something else. You can run double backline. It's open enough where that can be kind of the way that you play it. But with Atlas and Raw and banned, I feel like InControl, if they don't grab like a Ruckus or something here, they're kind of messing up this draft. But they go with Ash instead, someone who I think is a fantastic pick on this map. You can run Slug Shot for extra range. You can run Battering Ram and just get super aggressive in their face. The best thing about this map for Ash, in my opinion, is those tiny little, I guess, garden overhangs. I'm not really sure exactly how else to say that are over the main walkway up top. You can slam your head on that and come right back down with your ultimate and get a quick stun almost anywhere. No map has that level of flexibility to use the Assert Dominance.
And actually, they picked up the strengths for Ignite Gaming. I mean, you have as you said before, you have the possibilities to go up there and, kind of see the whole map from the balcony and try to get a quick snipe. But you need to be very mindful of enemy flankers right now. And that's going to be pretty wild because I don't see anything coming from InControl Nation. They're going to go and roll full DPS, even with Vivian. So do you counter snipe and try to, take him out once in a while? Or do you just completely ignore him and go behind walls? What do you do in this situation?
I think you dive in with the Ashe and let your Cassie maybe fight long range. Because Strix can't just not look at the Ashe, right? If Ashe is right in his face, they can't just completely ignore him and try to shoot past him. Vivian can also just get aggressive with the Ashe. Vivian moves so fast, especially if this Corvus, I'm going to look at the build when we do get into the game, but if this Corvus is running the speed card, that's 15% plus the 25% minus a little bit of diminishing returns, and that's something along the lines of like 35, 38 maybe even 40% movement speed for the Vivian. Literally 100% of the time, she's just zooming and can definitely follow up on an aggressive Ashe.
That's going to be interesting. And of course, Imani coming up for Ignite Gaming. Imani worked so well before into the match. We saw the Dragon was basically uncontested. So if this is going to be run again, they need to be more mindful about it. But it's a very open map from many angles, especially when you're fighting for the cap and the point itself. But also another thing is it's full of elbows. Like you are constantly rotating left and then right and then right again and then going straight forward, and then the last shoot again. And left again, and the last shoot is going to be super hard because basically you have the enemy team respawning onto you in almost a second. So super interested to see what's going to happen on this particular map, and I think we're ready to jump back into the game.
We are, and I just want to point out really quickly, last game they swapped in Mika on InControl, they lost, and now they've swapped back in Cool. So an interesting little roster swap thing that we don't normally see from these teams. I'm not sure what's up with Mika. My guess would be like internet issues or something if he's kind of popping in and out like this, or maybe they really are just subbing him out from map to map, saying, all right, controller player here, mouse and keyboard player here, and we'll see how that pays off.
And let's go with the ping of this point, actually, because right now Inara just going onto their faces, trying to control this point. I guess Fernando is going to be a little bit hard, but onto the other side, sniping hard. This is the Strix, and taking up the first blood and the first kill.
Yeah, the Strix Orange scheme, their flex is the one who picks it up, and I'm love seeing what snipers can do on this map if they're not pressured. But look at this, neither tank is even remotely close, and King Kaiser, interestingly, is the one to flex over to it. Makes sense, I guess, with Cool subbing back into this roster, but aggression from Ignite, InControl need a way to break through.
Yeah, he's gonna be ready. He does a lot of damage out of stealth, and right now, really not contested at all. Nobody's running into him, apart from a couple of shots coming his way, but he can reposition pretty easily and pretty fast right now. Ignite Gaming taking full control of the point, and we can see the Strix, he does a lot of damage. He's full control of the whole map and the whole point thanks to this balcony.
Yeah, he has to disengage, though, because they do lose the fight with the place that Cool is playing. He's just sitting in an angle that he really can't be pressured that easily from the Strix. Strix has to do a long rotation, and we'll see. Now he's just playing in a place to fight everybody else, and Cool manages to catch out Kubies.
Oh, they're crying so hard because Strix right now is doing so much damage, and he's super uncontested, just wailing on them over and over and over. Even though he's 96%, the contesting in the counter is going to come pretty easily. There you go. Still contesting the point. Inara walling herself off, as I said before, taking a lot of time, just gaining tempo for her team. Gonna go on to overtime. It's gonna be pretty unique because right now they think lost the point against InControl Nation, even though they're doing much more damage.
Yeah, the aggression right now from InControl actually collapses on them too. I was talking about how you have race car Vivian using all that speed to push, and it works out to get the follow-up on the push, but 2 ultimates are going to stop this right in its tracks.
Ooh, that's going to be huge for Penny. And right now, they're blocking them hard. They're basically using the high ground at their advantage. Oh, there goes the elbow. There goes the wall. Try to get a little bit out of Fernando. Not useful, though.
Yeah, unable to get the wall to lock him in, but it's a difficult angle. But look at that. Speaking of difficult angles, Ornstein catches Max right when he jumps over the wall.
There you go with the quick snipes, you get quick kills. As you can see right now, he's doing a lot of damage. They're able to clean up pretty easily. The shield is gonna go down. Fernanda has nothing left. Ashe is gonna pressure him into a corner. They're basically controlling the entire situation, the entire map. They have everything basically. Their team is very well adjusted and very well balanced.
Unfortunate, I don't know if I really like the use of that. XZ's almost getting caught in, by the way. I just want to point that out. I don't know if I love that assert dominance. I don't think it was really worth it. They actually managed to trade it with Ornstein, surprisingly, and now maybe they can use their tankiness to keep this fight in their favor. Everyone in Ignite is stuck on the other side of the map.
Indeed, and Fernando right now all alone by himself trying to push this cart. The focus is going to come pretty easily from the enemy team. He still has a big shield, but it's going to go down pretty soon enough because we have a dragon. Ladies and gentlemen, the damage is going to come pretty easily from the sky. There you go. That's your advantage. That's your clean up crew. And they're ready to reset and make the enemy respawn and back up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if I like how late they used it. I think Kubis is going to have one hell of a round to charge it back up. But I mean, as I say that, he's already at 14%. We'll see how slow they play on the other side. But all those shields that InControl can play behind are going to make it a lot harder to charge up the ultimate if that's the way things end up turning out. Kubis playing the side angle for now. No engagement just yet, but actually Ice Monkey catches out him.
Ooh, super catchiness right there, because he basically got it, and that's a huge advantage. That's a huge plus for them. 80 seconds to go. This is going to be the last stretch, and it's going to be super hard because the respawn is right there. So if they take a kill, it's over. That's a long way to go. It's a long way to actually trying to get onto the PL back on point, and Ash is going to get Vivian is going to get super pressed up by Ash and Buck. They lost the kill right there. They're going to lose casting soon enough. They're trying to rejoin and rejoice onto the payload itself. And overtime right now.
I want to see if how careful Kaiser is about this. If he's willing to spend the ult for this. He could have, and maybe they would have capped, but I like that they're thinking about holding it to make this work. They're just going to give this up. They can't fight that damage from that with Kubis. Cleaning up too, just some extra credits in the pocket. He's happy to see that in mid, 69%. A nice look for them heading into this with that dragon, hopefully getting charged up pretty quickly as they get into it. I think it's a very crucial pickup for them to have. But this Amani definitely not hitting the same way that it was before. Even Strix getting out damaged by the Ashe on the other team, and Deja Vu on this Buck is top damaging somehow. Which is kind of crazy. Strix and an Amani on a map as open as this one. It's kind of surprising to see them able to pull that out, but I guess just makes sense in this region, man. That's why Buck is being picked up so early in a lot of these drafts.
Indeed, and of course, I don't see the pressure coming from Amani. She used a couple of ultimates that were great, I'm not gonna lie, but right now they used a ton of resources just to defend. I don't know if they have anything to put their weight onto this next phase, because they need to take that point, and they need to take it fast against that Fernando. Fernando is really the only problem right here.
Yeah, he's in the way, he's tough for them to break through, but all that shielding and extra things I think help quite a bit. But look at this though, kind of just dismantling them is InControl. For some reason, Penny was all the way up here. I think they were trying to ignore the point, but when you lose the fight so quickly, how do you retake it? He needs that DR back fast.
It's impossible right now because she's getting pressured from Ash. She cannot go there without getting killed, and they're of course chasing her. I don't know what she expected from that play. Oh, the dragon was stuck. Oh,
you have to get it through a tiny little crack in the door, and he wasn't able to do it, so he'll lose the dragon. But I know Inertsky falls too on the other side thanks to that assert dominance.
That was just unfortunate, and they lost a ton of resources out of that. So let's see what they're gonna do right now with the advantage, of course, of the high ground. That's gonna be 2 in a row for InControl. They're gonna set up the aggressiveness and turn it up to 11. Nice shield right there. Pretty fun stuff. Inara's just gonna jump back, and I don't know if they can basically defend this once, because the payload is moving so fast.
I think they can, maybe with this, depending if the Immortal comes out. He uses it, but actually gets stunned and doesn't save Kaiser.
Bad. We see the Vivian and Fernando right now. They're going to try to pressure onto the side. They're going to take another kill, and they're going to take another one in just a couple of seconds because Ying was super going down right there. And Cassie and the others are just pushing them back over and over and over. It's going to be pretty difficult for them to actually jump onto the point. It's going to be just right now Ying taking a nice kill right there just as a cleanup, and 1 minute to spare, and that's a lot of time to defend.
Yeah, it's a tough map to do it on, though, because there's some spawns that you can easily get into the back line of the enemy team. Look how easy it is to flank right now. Deja Vu just walked in, no leap necessary, but he might be overstaying his welcome using his cooldown and his leap in the middle of their team.
Yeah, they squeeze him out, but that was a great opportunity right there. He was willing to actually take it fully, you know, and try to get a kill. It would have been awesome and a great execution, but you know, he can kind of do these kind of mistakes because they still have 40 seconds and a long way to go, but it's still 40 seconds. That's still a lot of time, and they still got a lot of resources to use it. There you go, a couple of kills. Fernando is down. There's possibly no way to push this card anymore, so good job on Nick Gaming.
Yeah, this is another kind of, I was mentioning that this point is hard. Not only can they flank you very easily, you can't flank them. Those one-way gates make it so you have to push this main choke point. If you don't kind of catch them off guard and just wipe their team without them being able to respond, you will be running into the entirety of them waiting for you. As you can see with Ice Monkey absorbing everything up front. 9 seconds left, but ultimates are being spent on the defense, even though they have a great advantage here.
That's okay, but still, I think they felt unsure. And on to the other side, they also used ultimates from InControl. We saw, of course, Ashe just jumping in. I don't know, maybe she wanted to confirm a kill or two, but there was no follow-up onto the payload.
But there was... Merlo, there was an illusory rift on the other side. I don't know what King Kaiser was thinking there. King Kaiser, great DPS. I don't see him on tank very much. And maybe needs to play a little more to figure out this decision-making, because, I mean, he asserted dominance into a illusory rifted full health Imani in the spawn after 2 ultimates were spent on the defense for, I'm going to say 3 ultimates even, for effectively nothing. They got to be thanking their stars they still have this Immortal that's going to be coming up soon, and kind of the Entropic Breach, because the only real impact ults they have is this Assert Dominance and this Immortal. Lacking that, they're going to have to hope they burn down this Dragon in time.
Exactly. I don't know what they were thinking, but both teams basically spent on both sides. They could have reached an agreement, you know. They could have waited a little bit more, but let's see what's going to happen. This Strix needs to actually get a couple of kills more. And there you go. They're going to try to jump into the fight right now. Still no first blood coming through. Yeah. Nothing coming through. Penny is completely out. Onto the other side, Imani needs to actually back off. Ashe creating great support and great pressure onto the other side. And Strix is not doing that much, to be honest. He's not taking any chances, like he still got a kill, but he's getting pressured more and more and more. They're very mindful of him.
Yeah, they're doing a great job, I think, of shutting him down. That's a big part of the Ashe and just having this double poke. And Penny looks like stuck in a similar situation to last time. Again, will get the touch actually this time, but the rest of the team, they're going to look forward and deal with the other backlines.
Indeed, and there you go, Fernando, right now powering through the air, trying to get and set a stand point onto this anchor. 93% to go for InControl. They're literally like control the whole backline of the enemy team. Right now, Cassie tries to snap a little bit onto the Buck. Buck right now trying to push them back over and over and over. They're still contesting. They still got plenty of time to jump back into the action. They need to be very mindful of Ignite Gaming right now because Fernando just dive onto the left side, used to pop his ultimate. The entire team says, okay, it's great to go. It's good to go. Let's go. Let's just jump into the game. Let's take this, tank out. And they're gonna do that. They're following through pretty easily. They're taking kills over and over and over. That's the last one they need to take to actually contest and make the 4 point out. And they're gonna do that pretty easily. Because as you can see, she basically walled herself off with a Corvus ultimate to pick her off. And Ashe.
Look at that Bulldozer 3 burning the Inara wall fast enough. I love seeing that, and I guess this subbing in of Cool is paying off for InControl, it seems, with them swapping him back around to it. InControl now, 3-2. Euron Bazaar and Aggression still coming in. Norsky might get away. Penny's there to save him, but they're going to keep pushing up main.
Indeed, and they gain a lot of tempo right now by just pushing and pushing and getting those kills, and Strix actually didn't get out alive at all. Like, he needs to respawn right now, he needs to reposition, and it's gonna be super hard for him, because right now they're chasing him hard with Vivian, Fernando, and all the others.
Yeah, pressure up main. I love them using the Nando shield to repeat. Using your Nando as a constant rotating shield is, I think, the best way to do it. This Dragon wants to get in, but it's going to be so hard. Again, Bulldozer 3 Vivian. Look at the health bar, and it's gone. Immediate. It really is that quick. She can't find much of anything.
Indeed. Right now, Ashe popped her ultimate, trying to get a little bit of a pressure going on onto this backside. Pretty good so far. Buck is going to be the next one if they're going to go in with a clean enough crew. Watch out for King Kaiser right now, trying to get the snipe onto the Ying, pressured her into the respawn. She is not able to actually heal anybody. Right now, InControl Nation showing up some respect. Going onto the backline, getting a dead Imani with Cassie, Ashe, and all the others, and I think that's pretty much it. They're gonna push until the end. It's gonna be pretty safe, no contesting at all. Coming on to the point, and Bucky is not gonna jump, he's gonna get stopped. And InControl Nation winning over and over and over again.
The Buck was trying to play it a little safe, I think, by him holding onto the Heroic Leap. Not only is it a source of mobility for him, in the way his build was set up, he's running Momentum 5. So that's 25% damage reduction when he uses that leap. So I think he was trying to maybe save it for when he was under a little bit more pressure, when they were actually looking to focus him down. And I think just waiting a little too long, kind of underestimating the speed that he has. Probably looked at Vivian for 2 seconds and thought, yeah, I'd probably move that fast too. But unfortunately for his sake, no, not the case here, Ignite Gaming. Oh, that is not updated quite yet for some reason. I don't have that swap around. I'll go back out to us for a moment while I get that fixed up here to look at the proper look of that. I think I see what went wrong.
And
We'll
I
be going
mean, this
right
time
back into it in a
around,
second.
yeah, no problem. And I mean, this time around, of course, we saw Amani running that dragon down, but of course, against the bulldozer, that summon is not gonna last long. And of course, she did almost no damage during those situations. Of course, she's still top of the charts right now for Ignite Gaming, but so much less than than usual. That ultimate was not so game changing as before on Stonekeep, and it shows. On the other side, I think the Strix was very, very good as a pick. He was fully uncontesting for the longest time, especially in round one. But in the end, he fell down and fell out pretty easily. Like he wasn't pressuring as much as he should, and with a double shot sniper, that's all that you need to do against the Vivian, against Cassie, against Corvus, even if he's out of position. But he didn't do that, so that's too bad. That's unfortunate.
Honestly, maybe Orange King was just playing too safe, because you look at these KDAs, right? He does less than his Inara, but he gets out damaged by both the Buck and the Amani. He is a flex. We see him do great on Maeve. We see him do great on Eevee. We see him do great on off tanks. Is his primary role, but struggling a little bit on this Strix. Maybe again not as comfortable here, and needs to find something more like that. Maybe a flanker. A different flanker in the draft could have let them get away with it, because Kubi's was doing more than enough damage on this Amani for this. But Ignite Gaming, I mean, we're trading maps back and forth here in Ignite. They want us to go to Jaguar Falls. Still have some time to wait to set up the draft. But, I mean, it's not surprising to see them maybe go back to something standard after a weird map like Bazaar.
And that's okay, but because right now you have a very full-fledged game where anything can, go both ways. You still are going to try to prioritize those easy-to-sell supports. So like Geno's incredible, Maldamba incredible. Right here, you can just hide behind walls and heal over time, over and over and over, especially with Genos, because you just need to right-click through the wall. Maldamba, a little bit trickier, a little bit different. You need to pop out, then, But yeah, also... basically more escape tools and greater, great survivability. And in general, anything goes inside this map. You want to run DPS, you can do that. You want to run, more tanks, you want to go with the Terminus, you can definitely do that as a counter to, Inara, Vivian, what else? So Vivian gets actually banned, so Terminus is going to be even more free now to just roam, jump in, maybe use Crusher, and then respawn when the time is right. And Zin is going to get banned. Atlas is going to get banned. Maybe Drux or Meave are going to go out. And it's going to be Rom. Okay, they don't want to take a counter pick. That's fine. That's okay. I wonder what's going to be the first pick for Ignite Gaming.
I like seeing the Vivian, I think, banned after what it was able to do for InControl. I'm assuming that means, I haven't seen this yet, but I'm assuming that means Cool is back in. Still in, I guess, specifically to say from that earlier, definitely. Expect that if Vivian has to be in the ban column. But they got this Cassie taking it away from InControl. It looked good for them before, but we'll see necessarily what else can happen from it. But they have to give up the Corvus to make that work, I think. Not surprising to see him picked up. Geno's also still available, so double pocket is an option if they want to go that way, but not quite yet. I'm assuming I'd love to see it picked up here on Jaguar Falls to play with some flankers, but they're going to go with the Ashe. With Atlas and Rom banned, they want to prioritize the off-tanks that they think will influence the game the most.
That's okay, that's fine, and of course you got to take Inara onto the other side and try to, use the wall, try to take a little bit of a more proactive action going on. And you see Androxus, and he's doing mighty fine on this map. He just needs to be, more in the open, less inside those box-like buildings, because it's going to be very risky. And most of the times we see Androxus there are trying to snipe, across the map or trying to finish off a kill. And more times than other, they go into the waterfall and they get shot down because they have no way to escape. Fernando is going to come up, and Ashe and Fernando, this is a great way to say, okay, we have bodies. We're just going to stay on point and stay as long as possible. They just need to, maybe keep the pressure up with Talus and take a bunch of kills. Grover is going to come up for Inara and Ignite Gaming. Really like it. And Khan. So Khan, as you said to me before, is pretty much a given and more used a little bit in NA. What about Brazil, though? What about him in the tank meta in the Brazilian scene?
We don't see it as much. I think they're running it specifically to deal with this Ashe Nando. I feel like maybe they felt like they didn't have an answer for it last map, so now they're pulling it out. They're going to have the con to grab the Ashe out of her dash. They're going to have the con to grab the Nando out of his shield and do some decent stuff that way. Also, of course, overpower It's good. It's an ultimate that instantly kills someone if you do it in the right spot. These players will do that, so definitely happy to see them with that potential there. But the Leon on the other side, we've been seeing a little bit more of her recently. I love seeing the kind of shift in her meta where people are running precision now, so that stacking damage buff over time. Pair that with any of these pocket supports, she's getting slowly gaining even more value from these pockets, whether it be damage on damage or extra lifesteal paired with that damage, making her even harder to pin down and kill in these games. Definitely like seeing that flexibility. We'll see what they end up kind of running with in this, but this con, I think, has to have a monster of a performance to actually deny the value coming out of this Ashe and this Nando.
Indeed, let's jump right back into the action. And if you are Ignite Gaming, you want to go on into a Jaguar Fall, maybe on 3-on-3, you know, because you have that free ultimate, that free kill that you can basically shoot out into time and space as soon as possible. But if I'm gonna be honest, at least casting with you and seeing a couple of VODs in general, I never saw like 3-on-3 on Jaguar Fall. Either way, if your team is good enough, it's gonna end up with a full-on push at least onto the second round. So I don't know about that. I really hope this con pulls his way through and he's going to be able to, you know, counteract the enemy team. But let's talk about cards. Let's talk about setup right now.
Yeah, I wanted to, one last point about what you said before, as we're about to roll out. I want to mention, you say you don't see a lot of 3-3s on this map. That's because generally the better team wins on Jaguar Falls. There's not a lot of ways to kind of cheese a win other than maybe an uncountered pirate ship composition, right? So that says a lot to the confidence of Ignite to take InControl here when they're down in this set. I actually really kind of hate their start here. I really don't like this hard death ball. One person waiting to stop it. Decent way to do it, but they're giving up so much cap time, and Penny's realizing it, but he can't make it through.
Watch out, there's going to be a 1v1 against the Talus. He's going to jump right back into the fight and contesting a little bit of the point with the end against Nirara. We see they actually have a nice control for them. 42 seconds and 48% to spare right now. Ashe is just gonna pop, you know, ammos over and over and over. Nothing much to say because the action is a little bit slower than usual. And these are massive buffy tanks that don't go down so easily. And Leon onto the other side, she's trying to do, you know, overwork. She's trying to snipe as much as she can. She's trying to get across, you know, that map, all that damage, but she's not finding any target apart from Inara's, you know, stones.
Yeah, and look at this. Ice Monkey is just getting so much cap time because they can't burst through his Nando shield. He's just standing in front of them, and the other fights that are happening are pulling away so much aggression. Charging the ult's a little bit faster on InControl too, but not the Whirlwind, and that'll be their signal to get aggressive.
Grover right now popped the ultimate. Oh, they're gonna go with the first blood on Talus. Onto the other side for InControl Nation. Ashe pulling through with the second kill. Is gonna go down and push into the Grover, and that's gonna be it. The point is captured. Inara just gonna die. Just gonna die. She's slowly and painfully dying.
Oh, jeez. She had DR. I'm sure it wasn't that bad, but buying a little bit of time. I was kind of wasting that ultimate, though. Expected a 1v3, but no one else on the team was really left there to keep her going and in control. It was a long, slow fight, but they played it right, I think. They had a tank locking down both lanes. No really aggression taken from Ignite Gaming, and ultimate's going out into effectively nothing right now.
I don't understand this Deja Vu ultimate, but of course he took the Fernando ult as well, because basically he wanted to save everybody, and Talus specifically. It was fine, but they still got a couple of kills in, and we're gonna see this con actually pushing through for Ignite Gaming. InControl Nation right now need to reset, but a lot of resourcing are being used right now. Like, the ultimates are popping left and right for no apparent reason.
I think the use of the Enlightenment was fine because not only did he not end up spending it because of the timing of the death, but it forced them to focus him, and if he gets a trade, they win that fight even harder here. I'm surprised at how aggressive InControl are being even with this. I mean, they have their spawns right here, but they're still willing to push into them.
Oh, indeed, and as we can see right now, the pressure is put on thanks to Talus. Fernando onto the other side is trying to do as much as he can. They have a nice angle going on. They actually gone to the last stretch. This is going to be the hardest part, but if they manage to take a kill, at least onto Androxus or the tank, it's going to be pretty easy. And Inara, oh, she's very, very, very soon to die. Penny just gets shot down. Khan, of course, takes another kill pretty easily. And there's nothing they can do right now. A couple of kills going in, 1 minute to spare. It's plenty of time actually to reset and respawn. And Androxus is gonna pop another ultimate.
Yeah, he's charging it pretty quickly, and I don't mind him using it as much as he is when he's canceling it, because sometimes you can't necessarily cancel it as quickly. Some people just spend all the charges right away to try to get some bonus damage out, but he's using it saying, will this be good? No, and then he's holding on to 15% per charge he doesn't fire, so it's a much smarter way, I think, to use those resources, and I like seeing that decision-making coming out from him. But now, they don't have that if they need it to hold this. So look in here, everybody around. Early damage onto Cool, but they're going to get overtime maybe from Ice Monkey, and they need to find a way to get onto this Cassie.
It's fine, they still have resources onto the next round, and Grover just wasted an ultimate. I mean, it's not wasted because you need to keep your team alive, because they're basically knocking onto your door from the enemy space. But as you said before, Cassie is the only one that Leon really needs to focus on right now, because she's the damage dealer. She's doing kills right now, thanks to also to Androxus. They're like battling each other out pretty easily. But yeah, right now, as we can see, a lot of kills from InControl, and not really anybody to jump onto that PL and contest it, and it's going to be a clean 2-0.
Yeah, I think I agree with what we saw there before. I don't mind that there, but I think them walking it in, I like that they kind of pressure Kubi's, but kind of just let him rotate more into the back and not get away with quite as much. I like the decision-making that they had there to focus on that, burning down the tank, and Ornstein really just couldn't rotate back to the objective in time. It was a tough choice he had to make, but ended up, it's kind of hard to make the right one in that kind of situation. They're healing in favor of the Grover very slightly. This is a map where he gets a lot of healing without really even noticing it. Plus, his team is in a disadvantaged state quite a bit of time, so they're constantly getting pressured. He's constantly healing them. Corvus, surprising he's actually able to keep up as well as he has so far in this game. But Ignite Gaming, I just want to see them now do the same thing, and they change things up. They rotate, and they have the scout to pick out exactly how they want to play this fight.
That's pretty good right now, because we want to see a couple of kills more. They didn't have much control into the last game, and they need to put a little bit more pressure onto that Fernando. Ignite Gaming right now, they still have the tools, they still have the ultimates, they just need to use them. And we're going to see Corvus completely deleting the other side. They have control. They can jump straight back into the action. Khan does not have a shield. Khan does not have any health left. They just need to rush it down, take those kills. But onto the other side, and Drox is doing great work onto the backline, taking those kills. And Talos is going to be the next one.
Yeah, they actually have the ult now, so maybe he can go for someone. I'm kind of shocked to see him not pull the Corvus, but enough damage was dealt by them here. Doesn't want to dash because he could go right off the edge if they're dodged easily, but Ultimate's coming out, and this could help them confirm this. It's all on Ice Monkey.
Indeed, it's just Fernando is the only body present onto that point, and it's gonna die pretty easily right now because the shield is not there. So yeah, there you go, that's a kill. And right now, Ignite Gaming, they're gonna control easily this push. But needed to remind you, they can still defend and get a point for free right now in Control Nation. So we need to better watch out what's gonna happen on this last stretch.
You're not gonna be careful though, because Penny's taking a lot of damage he might not necessarily need to take. And Kubi's, they know he's the problem, I guess now. This Cassie's been doing a lot, so they're sending everybody down to chase him.
Indeed, as you can see right now, Khan is trying to resist as much as possible onto the other side. They're trying to pressure him into dying, and they're saying, please die, but he's just so tanky right now, and he's being supported by Corvus pretty easily. They're trying at least to push a little bit, because right now the contesting is going on and on and on, and Ash, as you can see, jumping right back down with like a couple of HP, but the ultimate is there. They're taking those kills with Corvus, Ice Monkey, and the others, and they're pushing them back. Grover is dead, so Grover is still not dead. Ooh, super close though. 100 HP.
Yeah, really low by the end there. And now has the Blossom and keep Penny in the fight for the retake here. But Cool put on a lot of pressure and got out safe. That's what Talos is able to do. Kind of get out of jail free card whenever he wants. But Penny now getting aggressive. Grover will keep being able to heal him, but he's kind of isolated. His team needs to get in to help him, but InControl's sent running.
Talos right now puts the angle, puts the pressure. That's pretty good because right now nobody's touching their cart, and they're waiting and waiting and waiting. We're gonna see if Ignite Gaming is actually able to unlock a couple of kills more with Androxus. So right now nothing's happening so far.
Yeah, not much. It's just trade back and forth, but this might be the engagement with Kaiser being very low, but Ash, she can get away from those kind of situations, and Kubi's dies to try to get the chase.
Just dash away, and it's gonna be fine, because right now, onto the other side, finally, Androxus took a couple of kills with that ultimate, popped right into their faces, and they're gonna touch the card, but it's still 40 seconds, and it's not moving. PL is like strictly on point. They're not doing anything right now, finally, thanks to Khan. They got a couple of kills, they're ready to move on, and they're gonna try to get them onto the respawn.
One big thing about running Khan is that he's another source of very consistent damage. It's not a lot of damage, but it is happening all the time, so the odds of him getting a kill are pretty high. Just the chip damage he's doing throughout the entire game. Look at this about control. They're coming out of spawn, and they're just running straight into the back, catching out this Grover.
Indeed, it can actually grab Fernando and throw it into space. They actually had the angle. They actually had Khan right there with the ultimate, but they're not doing anything. They lost basically everything in less than 2 seconds. Less than 2 seconds, they came out of spawn, and they cannot do anything anymore, and it's gonna be a 3-2-1. And that's super risky, because right now you're playing on the edge of your seat for a match point.
Yeah, I like the call from InControl, right? Because they roll out, they're like, all right, is anyone secret? No? And then the entire team just barrels through into them. It's one way to do the defense, especially when you're not at risk of losing the game by giving it up, right? If that was like a 3-3 defense or a 3-2, then maybe I'm like, oh, maybe we don't really want to make that play. But they're not worried about that. They're just worried about actually finding that space, getting in and holding that. If it's a risky play, but it's high risk, high reward. If they lose it, then, hey, they go into this fight 2-2. Now Ignite Gaming don't have comeback mechanic, and we can play a different style. So love the decision, and I love how they didn't even have to spend a single ult to do it. 5 strong on both sides. It's going to come down to, in my opinion, the tank ultimates, because overpower into Assert Dominance and Immortal, there's a lot of value in those tank ults.
Let's see, I think Ignite Gaming has the tools to actually pull through and, you know, take those quick 2 kills, but on to the other side, watch out for Inara. She basically enabled a great ultimate from Fernando. Basically, Fernando does not have a kit to survive right now. If he wants to get onto the point, he just has a shield and no ultimate at all. Corvus is going to try to heal him pretty easily. It's time to pop off and pop on pretty fast onto the other side. Khan just took a kill. They're going to pressure over and over and over. That's a bunch of kills coming in for Ignite Gaming. They're going pretty hard, and they're going pretty good onto the side.
Yeah, I don't know if I like them not dying on the point. Ice Monkey alive for now, but Khan means he can't put up a shield because Khan will just stop it with only Talus. Wait a minute, actually, they have Talus ult. That's a guaranteed touch. Depending on who sits there, they have one skill. He goes in the way and gives it to him.
That's the touchy right there. It's going to be amazing because now they have time to actually engage Ash. Running through onto the other side. We saw Fernando running through as well. Leon and the others, they're taking a bunch of kills. Watch out for the damage. Look at that pressure going on to the Khan. They still have a ultimate. They go for an easy 1-2 with the Talus, and they're getting pushed back over and over and over. And there you go, the final snipe. 45% for them. This is going to be super hard. They just lost the tank. They just lost the body. They cannot go on to that point. It's just Khan.
Khan maybe can make it if he doesn't get dismounted, which he didn't for now, but Deja Vu has to make a move, and I don't think he even has the speed after dash to do it.
Even though with Retribution, he didn't get any time at all, and InControl Nation wins by a long shot on this final sweep. I know, Kristen. I know.
All Ornstein had to do on this Khan was not be right next to the point. Penny used the DR, which means he's not a valid target for the Talus's true power. The true power would have fizzled if he tried to touch there. But Ornstein went, wait, Penny, are you safe? I'll protect you, and came back to the objective.
That was like a full-on reverse sweep. And the problem also, they took them in a very good angle, in a very tough spot. Of course, Cam Shield is not able to take a lot of punishment, a lot of damage, and they just follow through. Leon, Talus, and the others, they just pushed and pushed and pushed. And after that, Inara was completely alone. Talus just took a couple of ass shots right in front of her face. So you don't have a body anymore. You have no way to respawn. You don't have bounce, because of course, they're going to shut you down. You know, regardless of anything, because as you said before, Talus has a free out of jail card. So pop that blink behind, go on to them, just pop those horses, you know, break those horses, come back, you automatically won the game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Talus definitely a huge pick. I wasn't expecting it to do as well as it did, I think, but just because of the nature of the DPSs on the other side. Andro and Cassie, in my opinion, I got muted again because of my Stream Deck. It is just getting destroyed anyway. So, I want to avoid pushing buttons as much as possible. So I'm going to bring this up, which we can now take a look at. The Brazilian standings, something I don't have to press a button on my Stream Deck to look at. Parallax Gaming, of course, sitting on top with a 17 plus a minus here. InControl right behind them now, taking a lead on Ignite. Ignite, a team that kind of came out the gate swinging on fire, which, haha, very funny, Ignite. But they've really kind of fallen off as we gotten a little bit further and further into the phase.
Indeed. Right now, amazing games. Of course, very well balanced, I might say. I just hope, of course, to see a little bit more of InControl in action, because they did a really good job right now. They're very, very mindful and aware. And of course, they don't play, I would say, super meta. Like, they play what they feel is comfortable. And it shows. And they basically won each and every single round. But it was very well balanced, as I said today. Like, it was not far off or a full-on stomp on either sides.
It was exactly the same last time. So just InControl, I think, were the ones that came out the victor this time. And please bear with me while I make sure I don't get muted. It looks like we're still good. I pressed the buttons that I needed to get us here. But thank you, Merlo, I mean, for being here, for coming in. We're going to have you probably again next week, I'm sure, to be bringing everybody the PPC as we move further and further into this phase, 15 weeks.
Depends on chat, honestly. Depends on chat. If chat
don't say that. There's enough people in chat that just like to troll that are going to completely flip your head out. But yeah, again, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you everybody in chat for joining me. Make sure you come back next week, Thursday at 1 p.m. to catch the start of the next week of the PPC. And hey, on Monday, you can catch the PCML, the Amateur League that's been happening the final week of September, that closed bracket. You know it's going to be some good games for some rising talent. But thank you guys again so much. We will see you guys next time. Catch you then.
Bye-bye. Today production is like,
I hate this.